This month we see Oracle trying to control AWS. One of Microsoft's biggest events of the year only weeks away, both GCP, Azure playing nice with AWS S3, Google launching many new regions, TikTok has a one-click exploit, and much more to cover here in the next 10 minutes or less. Hi, I'm Matt Carolyn and welcome to Puck Online, where we aim to bring you the hot topics for the last month in the public cloud space. It's been a couple of months since my last video due to a lot of exciting changes and activity in my life. Today we are here in downtown Austin, Texas, where I've been discovering Texas barbecues and a few chops tonight is on the menu. Lots of announcements to cover in the next little bit, so let's get into it. So there are a couple of events coming up for Microsoft. We have Empower Everyone, Microsoft's Power Platform Conference in Orlando, Florida, from the 18th to the 23rd of September, with over 110 speakers, 150 sessions, 18 workshops and more. Then we have Microsoft Ignite on October 12th to 14th in Seattle, which will feature keynote speakers such as Satya Nadella and Scott Guthrie, as well as others. The purpose of Ignite each year is for Microsoft to communicate and educate on their products, upcoming and existing. This year's event will be in person and online. The top threats for the past month, which Microsoft have highlighted, are on screen now. Microsoft also discovered a one-click account hijacking vulnerability on TikTok's Android app, which TikTok has since fixed. There are now new VM series available already in multiple regions, featuring Ampere ARM-based processors. The first four types are general-purpose Azure VMs, which can run Linux enterprise workloads. The new VMs provide one of the lowest starting price points in the general-purpose portfolio. There are also two new memory-optimized VM series designed to run Linux-based workloads, including open-source databases, in-memory caching apps, and data analytics engines. Being able to resize a disk can come up from time to time due to low free disk space, or if you're looking to provide performance increases for your applications. With Live Resize, you can now dynamically increase the storage capacity of your premium SSD and standard SSD disks without causing any disruption to your applications. And Azure Data Explorer now supports ingesting data from Amazon S3 natively. Prior to the S3 ingestion support, you had to rely on complex ETL pipelines or orchestrators to ingest data from S3. Azure Gateway Load Balancer is now generally available in all public regions, including China and government regions. Azure Gateway LB is a fully managed service enabling you to deploy, scale, and enhance the availability of third-party network virtual appliances in Azure. And Microsoft has been doing a lot of work in recent years to address sustainability. Some new planned initiatives which were recently announced include liquid immersion cooling. This helps minimize the environmental impact of physical data centers, reducing energy use while providing higher processing power. Another is grid interactive UPS batteries. Instead of having a diesel generator, for example, as most data centers have for short-term power backup, Microsoft are starting to use long-duration batteries, which can also give any excess power back to the grid. On the topic of diesel backup generators, for those that are still in play, Microsoft are switching to less carbon-intensive fuels such as synthetic diesel, natural gases, and hydrogen. Now in this nice diagram, Microsoft are calling out their end-of-service roadmap through to 2024. Some important ones to consider are in this quarter we'll see SQL Server 2012 reach end of service. And next year we'll see a lot of 2013 products as well as Windows Server 2012. Something else not listed there is the Azure Virtual Machines Classic will reach the end of support in March next year. And in Google news, Google held their biggest storage event for the year on September 8th, where they announced a number of new products, including enhanced optimization and intelligence for cloud storage, new file store capabilities, the next generation of persistent disk called Hyperdisk, and the unveiling of their new Google Cloud Backup and DR services, which we'll get into in a little bit. Google announced this month the completion of their acquisition of Mandiant, which will help them compete in the cloud space by boosting their security portfolio. They will be retaining the brand name of Mandiant. And in the month of August, Google announced a lot of first cloud regions for countries including Malaysia, Thailand, and New Zealand. And customers who use Microsoft Intune for device management can now integrate signal information for app access with BeyondCorp Enterprise and Workspace. This integration allows organizations to craft zero-trust access policies and protect private applications and SaaS apps, including Office 365, based on the data collected from Intune Graphs API. And GCP finally has a backup and DR service. This was a massive gap previously in their services, and it sounds like they've finally plugged the gap. It's a managed backup and DR service for centralized application-consistent data protection. In late September, when it will be launched, you'll be able to protect workloads running in Google Cloud and on-premise, including VMware VMs, databases, and file systems. And in AWS news, well, the obvious event we'll be talking about till the end of the year now will be the big one at the end of November, AWS reInvent. You can already register for only $1,800. Back to normal operations this year with the in-person Las Vegas event going full steam ahead. Just before COVID, I was putting together a broom hockey team for the event, wondering if that sports event is still going on. And Oracle has made its HeatWave combined analytics and transactional data system available on AWS for the first time. They also plan to release it on Azure in the near future. Until now, it was only available on Oracle Cloud. First introduced at the end of 2020, HeatWave was designed as an analytics system that MySQL customers could use without having to export data from their transactional applications to a specialist analytics system such as Snowflake or AWS Redshift. And AWS controllers for Kubernetes add support for a big list of serverless solutions such as Lambda, Step Functions, RDS, KMS, and Prometheus. This will remove the need to manage all these services separately and bring the entire mess of small and painful to manage services together. And if you're sitting an AWS exam soon, I know they always like to include DynamoDB questions, so you might want to pay attention as DynamoDB now supports up to 100 actions. Previously, this was limited to only 25. This will free things up for many, removing the need to break up your actions into many transactions. And AWS has introduced new APIs for managing users and groups with AWS Identity Center. This will make SSO easier to automatically manage users, groups, and permissions. So in wrap up, make sure to check out publiccloud.ninja for links to all our podcasts, and online meetups and events. And click the like and subscribe buttons so that you get notified each month when we release a new episode. Our next episode will be in October. Till then, stay safe and keep challenging yourself.